Hey guys, it's Smashley. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. And if it's your first time, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Today, the title has given away, but I'm feeling pink and in love, and I decided to come up with this really pretty pink cut crease look for Valentine's Day. Thought I would film for you guys the process and how I put it together. So if you're interested in how I got this look, then just keep on watching. So obviously I already have my brows on. We're gonna be starting with eyes instead of face today, just because as you guys saw, the eye look is a little bit on the intense side. So using the BH Cosmetics, this is called Weekend Vibes Mimosa palette. This has all of the pinky colors that I could have possibly dreamed of. So we're gonna be dipping into this today. Without further ado, we will get started because I'm starting a little late today. I'm just gonna pick up a M506, and what I think I want to do is I swatched a few of these. Now the pomegranate shade and the guava shade are a little bit more on like the peachy side. I think I can get away with guava because I want to do more like a bright hot pink, so I think that's where we're gonna start. Okay, and I already have on my P.LOUISE base as well. You guys know I like to use this stuff to just prime the eyes. So since I've been sitting here, kind of creased up on me a little bit, I'm just gonna pat that down with a little flat brush, moving right along. I think I do want to just set this a little bit. There's a white in here. I think that's a little bit too intense, so I'm gonna just dip into my Hangin in Hawaii palette really quickly, also by BH Cosmetics, and I'm just gonna get a little bit of the base going. I usually like to set it with neutral color eyeshadow, or like a nude color eyeshadow. It just makes the other colors blend out much easier later. So I'm picking up Shaka from my Hangin in Hawaii palette, also from BH Cosmetics. You guys know I love drugstore makeup, and BH is like one of my favorites. They don't sell them in like a CVS or like a Target or anything like that, but they're definitely drugstore prices online, and they always have deals, and they can be found in Ulta and also Kohl's. I've seen them. So I think I got this palette, actually the Hangin in Hawaii one, I think I got it for like $8. It was like a Black Friday deal at Kohl's, so shout out to Kohl's for that. It's disgusting, otherwise I would show you guys the other side, but I've used it so much. Okay, now we can dip into our pinks, and I'm gonna pick up a M506 and then some of that like guava color in the palette. And what we're gonna do is, now for a cut crease, you never, or I mean depending on your eye shape, for me, I have hooded almond shaped eyes, so I would never follow my natural crease for the cut crease, if that makes sense, just because if I did, the minute that I looked at you dead on, it would get hidden all up in my hood. So we're actually gonna go above the natural hood line. So I'm gonna just take some of that pink color, and at first I just wanna dab. This is my first time using this palette, and usually BH shadows are fine, but you never know. So I don't wanna have any crazy markings. So I'm just gonna go just above my natural crease. And I have this small brush because I'm trying to be precise with the placement. I don't really want to bring this all the way up into my eyebrow. So just to avoid that. That's blending out really, really pretty so far, okay? And I'm gonna pick up that first brush that I was using. I think this is just like an e.l.f., one of their like random like chunky brushes, but I like it for blending. And for, of course, laying down the first part of my shadow. I'm just gonna blend that out a tad bit, because now we wanna start building up that color. This is just gonna be our base for now. All right, first part done. So that's one shadow. Again, we dipped into guava. I think I'm gonna use the same M506, and I'm gonna pick up right next to that is raspberry. And this is more of like a true hot pink. So that's what we wanna start building up for. Now, when you're doing a cut crease and you're placing, you know, multiple layers of shadow and things like that, you wanna keep the darker colors of your cut crease closer to your lash line, your eyelash line, I'll say. Just because you want where we actually cut the crease to be the darkest part of the shadow, so it gives us that really pretty stark contrast between the two. So avoid going up towards your eyebrow with the darker colors, go towards your lash line. So I kind of just go right underneath that line that we just made, and we're gonna start to deepen that up. So that it'll have that really pretty like diffused look going into our brow. And now what I'm doing is not really with much more color, I'm kind of just blending it back and forth on each eye. Okay, we're gonna grab a little e.l.f. brush and just make sure we're still kind of blending and diffusing out as we go along. I want to avoid any of those. We don't want any harsh lines at the top of the cut crease. We want to keep it specific to where we're building our crease. Okay, looking good so far. This is kind of what it ends up looking like. Okay, what do I want to do next? I think it's time to deepen. I'm gonna pick up this JH39. This is one of Jaclyn Hill's brushes. And I'm gonna pick up Happy Hour. Now it's a little bit of like a brownish color. This one right here. I'm gonna see if it'll work to kind of just deepen up our crease. And then if not, we'll try something else. Okay, that didn't really do much, but I'm OCD, so whatever you do to one eye, you gotta do the other. So I'm just gonna pick up the Hangin in Hawaii, and I think I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna try Honolulu, like a little bit of Honolulu. That's more of like a deepish, plummish color. And I'm gonna keep that same JH39 brush. This thing is literally so tiny. So super precise brush, but good for stuff like this because we wanna keep it in the shape that we're building over here. And so I've laid down the brown, and I just want to give you guys an update. So look at that, and then see on this side, we just want a little bit of a deep, but I lost some of the pink. So I'm going to take the same JH, dip back into Raspberry, and we're just going to top that brown slash plummish color that we just put down with some more pink to make sure we're still staying in line with the color that we want. Also, fun trick that I learned with just experimenting and doing so much makeup. Anytime you guys are trying to deepen up something, whether it be like a cut crease or maybe you're doing your pretty shadow look and you want to deepen up like the outer corner, go for a cool toned shade. So if you're going to go to deepen up, like here for example, Mahalo is a cool toned, almost plum brown color, and that really helps give that contrast. Sometimes if you go in with like the warmer colors, it doesn't give you the same level of intensity with the contrast that you're looking for. So next time you're doing your makeup, try and deepen up with a cool tone color. Even if you don't typically use them and you're doing a warm tone look, I'm telling you, makes all the difference. All right, I like where we're going with this, but I do want to make it even pinker. So I'm gonna pick up I use this in every video, the Pure X Raw Beauty Kristi palette, and I'm gonna pick up Side Effect. So that almost electric looking pink. I want to see what that does. This is a lot more vibrant than the one in the BH palette, so. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is pick up that same 506. We're going to blend colors together. Again, give you guys an update. That's how we're looking with the deepened up eye. And this one is how we're looking with just the pinks. So we'll do the same on the other eye. Time to cut the crease. So I'm just picking up some CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. This is like my thicker concealer for when I'm doing like heavier foundation days. You want to use a thicker primer or a thicker concealer whenever you're doing your cut crease, just because we're going to be layering, for me anyway, more shadow on top of it. So we want to give it a good hefty base. Now I'm picking this up on an M421. And I know cut creases can be pretty intimidating, but the name of the game is go slow. And also use like a round tip brush. So I like to start kind of following where my normal eye shape is, and then I'll build my cut crease shape on top of that. I should also mention, before you start the cut crease, you can totally clean up like your lid part underneath where we kind of got some of that shadow. For me, I don't really care because sometimes the concealer or the eye primer or whatever you're using can mix with that color and make a lighter version. So this is probably gonna come out light pink, but I'm totally cool with that because that's what we're gonna be putting on top anyway. So just a heads up. Now there's a couple different ways you could do a cut crease. You can totally leave it here if you want. I think I'm gonna drag mine out further and kind of just follow that line because we will be doing a wing later. This is how you kind of check the shape of your cut crease. If I look dead on, you guys can't really see it, right? So that means I just need to go up a little bit higher, which I know will feel weird because it's not the natural shape of your eye, but please just trust me, it's gonna come out so beautiful. Again, just go slow. I'm just gonna blend that out with the Beauty Blender. The foundation that we put on after will go on top, so like I'm not too worried about it, but now you guys can kind of see it, what it's looking like. I just Beauty Blended it out. I'm trying to get it to dry down a little faster. Okay, do we like how this looks? No, I think I want to fix this part right here. That's a little better. Okay, we will do the other one and okay, cut creases are on and ready to go. I'm just gonna pat them down. They've dried down a little bit since I did the other one. Now I wanna leave them a little tacky because we're gonna be putting a shimmer. I'm sorry, you guys can't see a thing. We're gonna be putting a shimmer on top of it. I think I wanna use this e.l.f. It's just called a professional eyeshadow brush, but you just wanna pick up something flat. And I'm gonna pick up Pop from the Sunday Brunch Mimosa palette. I forget the name of it already, but that's what we're gonna pick up, and we're gonna cover our entire cut crease with this pretty pink shimmer. So I'm gonna just try to pick it up with the brush at first. There's a little bit of kick up in the pan, but I swatched it and the reflex are beautiful. So let's see how we do. It's doing okay. I'm gonna switch to an M170-8, this one has a dash, to see if this will pat it in a little bit better. It's just a different flat brush I have in front of me. And you kind of wanna pick whatever brush you do use for this part, you kind of wanna pick something that's rounded at the top as well, just so you can follow your cut crease pretty nicely. This one's doing a little better. Is it too soon to be obsessed with this look? Because I feel like I'm there. Okay, there we go. So we kind of got the first layer down, and now we can kind of build up that pretty pop color from the palette. I think I mentioned with you guys, I've been feeling the pinks this Valentine's Day, but it doesn't always happen like that. I think last year was more reds. I've really been into the pinks, and I saw this palette in Ulta. I had no business being in there. I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys. No business being in Ulta. I blame Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo, if you're watching this, it was your fault. But I saw this palette and it was perfect, and I knew I wanted to do some Valentine's Day look. I just had no idea or concept or really know what I wanted to do, so this was perfect. So we're gonna just build up this pop color in both eyes, and then I have a fun step next. And I am dragging it out, so this one's gonna be a little bit more dramatic. But this reflex is like darling. It's like pink one way and then like gold when you look the other side. I think that's good, but to give you guys an idea, there's one, and here's how we started. So we're getting there. All right, moving right along. Now, I have a little bit of a trick that I want to teach you guys for the cut crease. Because now that we've added our base color over the part of the crease that we cut, I feel like we're losing some of that intensity from like that pink at the top. So I'm gonna do two things before like the fun step. I have this tiny, tiny, tiny e.l.f. concealer brush. It's literally the tiniest thing ever. I wanna pick up some more of that Mahalo from the Hangin in Hawaii palette, which was the color that we used to deepen up. And I'm gonna knock most of it off, but now I'm gonna follow the cut crease line that we made, and you guys will notice the difference. Watch. Yep. It gets me every time. This is real precision line work that we're doing on the eye. So this tiny, tiny brush definitely works out. And I'm gonna go back in with the JH39 and we're just gonna blend. I just have a little bit of that residual pink color. We're just gonna try and blend. Now when you do this, only put the brush above the line that we made. And this is to diffuse it out. So it actually looks like the color is coming from underneath, which is the effect that we want. Okay, so do you guys get me? Do you see? Right? I know. But it's one of my favorite little tricks, and I was just having a really hard time keeping the depth of color when I was ever learning how to do cut creases. So this is something that helped me, and I hope it will help y'all. Now time for the fun part. We're gonna add this Midnight Cowboy Urban Decay glitter liner, kind of where we did the cut crease. You want to do it just underneath the brown that we just laid down to deepen up because we don't want to lose it again. But this just adds like the prettiest little, it's gonna just finish it off. It's gonna look so pretty. I've done this on one other look that I posted over on my Instagram. So if you guys are not following me, I post a lot more of like my makeup stuff over there, I would say. Not always tutorials and things like that, but definitely like the finished looks. Smashley with 3 Ys and an underscore. I'll flash it up on the screen for you guys. I really liked the way that this came out whenever I did it with previous cut crease. So I figured we would add it in today. And I sorry, because I have to get close, but I'm gonna try to not block so you guys can see what I'm doing. But this is the tiniest little brush, and we're just gonna follow that line that we made. Okay, here it is. And there's without. So you could totally leave this step out, but again, I don't know. I think it's really cute, it's fun. I feel like it finishes the look and just gives it one more thing to be beautiful. And this is why I say go slow when you're doing your cut crease. So once you have that shape, doing little extra stuff like this is so much easier to just, now you're just having a color in the lines, you know? We're not done there. Next, I'm grabbing the NYX Vivid Brights. These are like their colored eyeliners. This one is in a pretty hot pink, so I'm really hoping this looks cute. I haven't tried it yet. I've had it for a little while. One of those, I needed it on the spot, so I bought it, but I've never used it ever. So I'm just gonna go for a light line at the bottom, but I think I wanna do my base first, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So let's quickly do that, and then we'll come in and finish the eyes. Okay. I just wanted to show you guys my foundation is not blended out, but kind of taking a flat foundation brush, I want to keep this cat eye look or this cat eye end of the shadow. So I just went ahead and used the foundation that way. Now when we go to blend it out, it'll keep that shape, and by the time we go to do the eyeliner, it'll be much easier. Battery just died, but I wanted to show you guys, I also brought the concealer following that same line and just blend that out. So that's gonna give us that really pretty sharp line at the end. We're just gonna wipe away the under eye bake. I'm gonna leave the contour bake on while we finish. I promise I won't leave it on the entire video like last time. If you guys saw my Euphoria makeup look, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now for liner, I'm gonna do it the same way that I normally do my black or brown liner. I kind of like to start middle of my eye, bring it down, and then do my wing. And then the wing, we're obviously gonna follow all of the work that we did to create this sharp line, and the wing is gonna come just underneath that. Okay, perfect. We're gonna copy and paste on this side. I'm just applying the House of Lashes Iconic Light lashes. They are my all-time fave. So I try to go from like above the lashes and like kind of look down, and I center them in the middle, give a little tug on the outer corner, a little tug on the inner corner, and just lay those down. And then I will start to kind of mesh them together and pulling it down with the plucker to my lash line. Lancôme Monsieur Big mascara, this one. Oh, this is the one that I've kind of been loving and enjoying. Shout out to my mom. My mom's really into makeup and she put me onto this mascara and it is the truth. So I really like it. And I always kind of check to the side. I'm looking in the mirror, but I always check to the side to make sure I don't have any weird eyelashes sticking up anywhere. Now we can finish off our eye look with the under eye, and I already know what I want to do. So I'm going to take a little flat brush. So what I want to do is grab some of that Honolulu from the Hangin in Hawaii palette that was like that brownish color, and we're going to dab that on our bottom lash line as close to the lash line as possible. And you just want to blend that out like a tad bit, but really not that much because you'll see why in a sec. And next, we're going to take this JH41. It's another little flathead brush. So you can kind of see that pointy top. I'm going to pick up Raspberry, which was the brighter like hot pink that we were working with. And I'm only going to use like one side of that brush, but we're going to sweep slash blend. And by picking up the color only on one side, it kind of helps with the blending because then you can switch to the other side and really get a good blend. Okay, I think I might even want to brighten that up some more. So I'm going to go back into that Raw Beauty Kristi palette and grab it. Side Effect. It's the same thing, just on the side of my brush. This one's a lot brighter. It's like a neon pink. Here we go. Really pretty. Okay, some bottom lash mascara. All right, eyes are completely, are they completely finished? I need an inner corner highlight. Using the M431, I'm gonna go for Champagne. That's like this really pretty like orangey color. It's a shimmer. It looks like it has maybe some like orange and yellow reflex. I think that can go nicely. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I also want to do like a really pretty pink highlighter. So I have this, I would show you guys, but again, my palettes are disgusting. I'm gonna pick up Aurora from this Morphe highlighter palette that I have, and we're just gonna lightly dust over here. All right, let's get some blush. I think I'm gonna start off with this Wet n Wild Pearlescent Pink. And you guys, as always, for all of this stuff, I'm gonna have all of the products that I used linked in the description box below for you. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit underneath her nose, just because I'm like feeling it, the little pinkiness, you know? And what I like to do is take, so that brush that I use to wipe away the bake, it has nothing else on it, but I usually like to kind of just, before I hit it with setting spray, go over with just a clean brush to make sure our face powders are all blended really nicely together. Okay, lastly is our lips, which I came up with this idea in the shower this morning. I know, weird, I come up with a lot of good ideas in the shower. Anyway, I want to try and do my lips like a chocolate covered strawberry, if you will. So let's see if this works. I'm picking up the NYX Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, and Definitely Turn On Waterproof Extreme Color Lip Liner. I was not expecting for that to be the entire title. Anyway, this is in color Urban Cafe. I just tried these and picked these up for the first time not too long ago, and they really do glide on. Do I think that they need that entire title? No, but here we are. So I'm just we're gonna outline our lips like normal, and then I kind of want to drag it down a little bit. Okay, but we want to kind of leave that center open. But this lip liner is super pretty. Absolutely love it. All right, and I'm gonna take this Milani Plum Rose number 17. Honestly, I don't have a hot pink, or I would have used that. This is about the brightest pink I can get, so we're gonna hope for the best. Yes, okay, yup. This looks really pretty, but I just want it like a tad bit brighter. So I'm gonna throw some of this in there. Now that we kind of got our center, I'm just gonna go back in with some more of that brown liner. That is so pretty. That is so pretty. I'm gonna put a gloss. Absolutely gonna put a gloss. I'm just picking up this Creme Brulee NYX Butter Gloss. These are my favorite. Highly recommend. They feel great on the lips. I want the pink to pop, but I don't want to lose that like matte outer line. I think that looks so pretty. I'll get a little closer for you guys so you can see. And that is it. That's all I have for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching the process and how I put this together. I think that the chocolate covered strawberry lip idea with limited resources came out perfect. So highly recommend. Again, everything that I've used is down below in the description box. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them for me below in the comments section. As always, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in the next one.